1997, there was some scholar, Egyptian scholar living in Austria. He's Egyptian, but he lived in Europe. And then he decided to come to Egypt for a visit after like 20 years. And then he found different Egypt. People in a different manner. He found agriculture in a conventional way using chemicals, and something is not right, it's going on. And then he decided to do something. He said, I have to do something for this country. And he decided to get back to Egypt, and he went to that desert and he established a community. This community is built on organic agriculture. And then this was the basic step to start to cultivate this land, this desert in organic manner. And there he started a community, he started Sekem. And Sekem is built upon the 4 dimensions of sustainable development: the society, the culture, the economy, and the environment. And one key aspect of Sekem, it was Sekem schools. It's not just one school, because we have different types of schools. As you can see, we started, sorry, by the way, some slides are like full of words. You don't need to read it. I am gonna give you the briefs. And of course, at the end, we can have questions. But I want to make sure that you are able to hear me, right?
Yes, we can hear you perfectly. Yeah.
Great, thank you. So we started first with the nursery, small nursery, because we already started a community of factories, of farms, of many things around or inside Sekem, I mean. So these employees who has kids, whether it's she's woman and so on, she need to put her baby in a nursery. Then it started the idea of having a nursery inside the community of Sekem. And then it built upon steps. After a nursery, we have a primary school, preparatory school, and different other types of school. The schools that we have a kindergarten. We have 50 children in this kindergarten. We have 2 classes. Each class has 25 children or kids. And for the primary school, until class 6, we have 166 students. And the middle school, we have 70. And for the secondary school, we have 58. And Al-Fajr school, or it's the school for people with special needs, we have 32 children. And community school for children who left education due to financial issues. They cannot, or their families are not able to afford expenditure to their education. Then they left schools to search for some work. Then Sekem has the opportunity to them to give them part of the day to work in collecting the chamomile flowers, and the other half of the day is to get some adequate education. Sekem schools are mainly the primary, preparatory, secondary are like a normal school, but we have the Egyptian curriculum. This is as it's from the Ministry of Education, but we have our touch, our sensitivity, our pedagogy. We take the children into different steps. So, for example, in the kindergarten, we totally refuse to let the children read and write. We just let them explore the world and their senses: to smell, to eat, to touch the floor, to hand the sand, to jump over a small tree, things like that, just to explore the world. He's not asked to read and write and so on. On the other side, in the normal nurseries in Egypt, mainly from KG1, the students or the children are started to be educated to write, and which is really against their nature. So this is our philosophy with the children. We just let them explore the life, explore with their senses, to smell, to taste, to touch, and things like that. When we go up to the primary school, we take the children from different stages. For example, in class 1, in this time, they need to start to read and write, but we make it later on. We make it in interactive way. First, we have the Arabic alphabetical. So we start to take one alphabet, for example, for 2 or 3 days, to sing a song, to tell a story, and then to use the mud or to use whatever, any handicraft things with them to formulate this alphabet. And at the end, they started to write it. So we take them due to some steps in order to feel the learning experience, not to just learning by heart. We mainly, in all of the stages of educational levels in Sekem, we take care of the hands-on experience, experiential learning. We always connect them to nature. We always take the students to feel the nature. Sekem, of course, it was a desert, but now it's a miracle in the desert. It's totally green. And of course, we have some photos you will see. Sorry, it was in, yes, these are some photos for the school, and I will share also another our website, the school website. This photo for the kindergarten, by the way. So in other stages of the primary life of the children in class 3, we connect them with the nature, totally with agriculture, that they are in a need to start to plant wheat with their teacher. They plant the wheat and they follow up the wheat, and they observe how nature is moving and how they are producing something with their own hands. And at the end, they celebrate. Because mainly each Thursday, we have theater celebration in Sekem. From kindergarten to the secondary school and the vocational training school, I forgot to tell you that we also have a school for vocational training, but it's another story. But anyhow, we have each Thursday a theater to celebrate. So this wheat project, after cultivating wheat, the children start to make a play with Egyptian songs about wheat and celebrating agriculture and wheat and so on. So we always connect them with something to do by their own entire body, of course, with their intellectuality, not just with body away from their brains. It's connected always. And as I told you before, we use the normal curriculum, the Egyptian curriculum, but we always mix it with the hands-on experiment, like something they do in the carpentry workshop, something they do with the saline or the mud, or things like that, or even agricultural activity. And when they jump and go to the stage of the preparatory, they started to somehow to get more grown, so they started to be critical somehow. And then I need to check if there is any comment or something like that. Okay, and then there should be like a need to connect them in a critical way with their learning journey. So they connected with agriculture again, they connected with environmental, they connected on how to keep their school environment clean and the external community as well. Because Sekem is surrounded with 13 villages, and I will tell you that later about this. 13 villages, it has about 30,000 people, and most of the children in Sekem schools are from these villages and some nearby city. So they mainly keep connected to nature, to the environment, and it's all with hands-on experience. And, excuse me, for the secondary school, as this is the stage of looking for the truth, we always, as teachers, because I worked in Sekem school as teacher as well, I am part of Sekem family since 7 years, we work on also providing them the truth and to respect their minds and mentalities, because they are now grown enough, they are critical minds, and they need to know more, but to be convincing, which is not an easy story to convince the students. And we still with our approach, which is hands-on, and we have mixed the community-based learning. First of all, the area of regeneration here, we are covering the 4 dimensions, because we build economical mentality since they are young, when they start to do some economical activities like agriculture, and they follow up in addition to having the ecological, as they are also planting this weed by organic manner. And the culture and the societal part, Sekem, as it's mainly a hub for arts and for culture. So we at Sekem, by the way, we are considered as the first community, environmental community in Egypt. And then some other initiative came to try to do as we are doing, and this is very great for us. We hope that all over Egypt become Sekem. The interesting part, it's about community-based learning. We cannot isolate the children from the external communities where they came from already. Hence, Sekem and also Heliopolis University. Heliopolis University, it's one of the daughters of Sekem. It's a university, and we have our students in this university as well. Then there is an initiative led by Heliopolis University and Sekem to be or to have a community-based learning approach. And the first community we need to serve was the communities around Sekem, the 13 villages, as I told you. So we make an interaction between our children or our students in different stages in Sekem school, with main focus on the preparatory and secondary school, high school I mean, because we take them to this community, we do some activities with other stakeholders in the community, whether they are local community or schools or other things like participating in maintenance for some school, like carpentry issues, because we provide them with skills and talents and vocational talents. So we embed our students to this project to feel how they serve the community, but we also link that to the subject they are learning in the school, to learn by doing something, to learn by serving the community. And this is really the new approach, or it's not a new approach, but it really now became very clear that we are really following this approach, which is to serve the community with our students, not just with Sekem. Sekem always served the community since more than 40 years now. But to embed the students, to make them part of the process, it's really became very, very concrete nowadays. And yes, I also would like to show you, this is one of the, one photo for our school. It's collective photo for starting from primary to secondary school. I forgot to tell you something. We have some communities with Waldorf education in somehow, as we really too much into learning by doing and learning through experimental approach. In each stage in primary stage, the children or the class, for example, class 1, they have the class teacher who is teaching them Arabic, math, and Islamic religion, or there is another teacher for Christian religion. This teacher, he is considered as like the father of this class, because he takes this class from class 1 and then to class 2, class 3, until class 6. Of course, with going up more, some disciplines became hard for a teacher who is not specialized, like mathematics in grade 4, like science in grades 5 and 6. So some specialized teachers teach these topics, but still the father, the teacher or the class teacher, who's still with them from class 1 until class 6, which is really making a very connectivity or a high level of connectivity between the teacher and the students. They are very connected to him. And Sekem, overall Sekem, with the factories and schools and everything, we have a morning circle and we have a weekly circle. We all stay together in one circle. And the idea behind this concept that everybody is equal and everybody can see each other's. So in the schools as well, the children or the students stay in a circle all together. They are saying together some motivational speeches, and then they move to their classes in lines. And at each door of the classes, starting from class 1 until class 12, the teacher is standing there, he's checking everybody's hand, and he's saying hello to everybody with his own name because he knows his name. It's very important to build a very strong relationship with your students in order to have a comprehensive learning process. Well, that's all in all. This is also another photo from our website for the children who are having special abilities, and they are involved there to get some basic life skills and social skills as they can interact, and also some of them get recruited later in doing some small jobs which is compatible with their abilities to do in Sekem, whether in different places, in factories or in the school and things like that, in order to make sure that they can have a good life later on. They can have an income to sustain their life, although it's not a big income, of course, but at least it's better than nothing. And the same for the community school children who are left school before and joined again the community school in Sekem. We called it community school. We called it chamomile school because these children are always collecting the chamomile flower mainly to be part of the herbal drinks that Sekem is producing. I think I'm done now, but please, if you have any questions, I'm yours.
Wonderful. Thanks, Momen.
Thank you.
Great. Any questions open to the group? I already saw, I put in the chat, I saw some parallels of, you know, the roles of the students and the community members, and it's more of this family feeling, and also just the integration of the whole child's experience on the emotional level and the creative level, as well as the mental academic. So
I also want to tell you something, but I forgot that we have some challenges before with the community where the children came from, but that took time, and then they convinced. Like having the children in the kindergarten with just singing and playing. Why my children is not reading or writing? And then we insist on our pedagogy and our philosophy. And people understand that later on. Your hand as a child still very smooth to write and do things like that. You need to explore the world. And also other things when we wanted to take the children to the community outside, I don't mean children, I mean the students, the elder students to the community. Some resistance happened, of course, in the beginning, but when they see the impact on their children or their, children, and also in the community as well, this is really making a change. So Sekem is trying to work on a change inside Sekem and also outside Sekem by different ways or different methods, whether by affecting the families, by showing them role models, and also by the field work that we are doing externally with the community. Yes.
So you follow the step of development of Steiner education.
I can say in a good way, yes, or in a big amount somehow, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So that's also similar. Yes.
You can see that even in the paintings that the children are painting, even how they draw a man. This painting. Yes, we have a very connectedness to the Steiner philosophy, to the Waldorf schools, and also, I'm sorry, ideas come to my mind. We have experts from different countries in the world, especially in Germany and Austria. They come to provide coaching and training to our teachers because we have an ongoing training programs for our teachers. And also we have interns from all over the world, mainly, but specifically from Europe. And we have people who got interns here in the university from Uruguay, and from people from Germany and things like places like this who would like to really join this community. Music is a very important part to our children. and especially the flute, the bamboo flute. So each morning, especially in class 1, you have to have a playing flute with the kids. And mainly some teachers who join Sekem school are not qualified enough still to play with the flute. So these German boys or girls come into the class and started to play the flute with the children. They started to learn Arabic, of course, in a funny way, and also started to teach the flute, things like that, you know? It's interaction with the world. Sekem is really connected. Yes, Margarita.
Yeah, well, I don't have a question, but I'm just really happy to see you presenting this because I'm coming from Solheimar, Iceland, and there's so much similarities, and because it was a school for children with disability 90 years ago. So I mean, and then we always present Sekem as our sort of like counter, like if we would say, so who do you think you are similar with? And I'm like, I was just at Sekem, and I've never met anyone from Sekem. This is the first time. I just want to say that, and it's just an amazing with the German connection and with the music, with art and everything that you talked about. I felt like I just mirroring Solheimar from the other continent, you know, the same thing, different color, but it's just amazing to experience seeing what you show. Yeah, yes. So it's like Iceland, you know, Asia, and then we have I mean we have Egypt, yeah, and then we have
Africa,
Europe.
Egypt and
Yes.
Africa.
So it's total different continent, but it's the app. I mean, it's amazing how can you apply a certain principle.
It's a sense of the human being, by the way. It's in everywhere. It has nothing to do with the continent. It's the sense of human being, how it's connectivity and so on.
Yes, that's what I'm just experiencing now. It's just amazing. I'm so amazed of, you know, how much we could do, you know, if we would just spread or work on the greening education. Just wanted to say that. I'm just so amazed.
Thanks.
Yeah, I also want to share my appreciation. I'm really glad I've heard about it, but now seeing it in more details, it's so impressive to see what the Sekem team has done, like a huge school for many ages, and including the villages around, including
have
people
the university now. Have the university now. This is the yeah, I'm just in a closed room, but we have also university after that.
Yeah, so beautiful. Thank you for your work and also for coming here to share it with us. That's
my pleasure.